All right, today we're taking a journey to a city in India that, well, it's said to exist outside of ordinary time and space. I mean, imagine a place where the air itself is believed to be just filled with divine love. We're exploring Vrindavan, a sacred city in Uttar Pradesh that pulls in millions of pilgrims. And they're not just looking for a destination, they're seeking a really profound spiritual experience.
And this quote, I mean, it just nails the essence of Vrindavan, doesn't it? Where every stone whispers the ancient love story of Lord Krishna and Radha. You see, this isn't some city full of dusty old relics. No, it's a living legend. The very atmosphere is supposed to be so saturated with devotion that this ancient love story feels like it's happening right now, in every single alleyway, in every temple.
Okay, so to really get Vrindavan, you gotta understand its origin story. This is believed to be the actual childhood home of Lord Krishna, who is, one of the most revered deities in all of Hinduism. So think of a place just filled with enchanting music from his flute, these playful dances, and all the divine acts that are so central to the faith. And even the name Vrindavan reveals so much about the place. It literally means forest of Vrinda, and Vrinda is another name for the sacred Tulsi plant. So right away, that tells you the city's whole identity is completely wrapped up in nature and divinity. It's like this sacred grove where the divine actually once walked.
So you might be wondering, how does all this ancient devotion actually show up today? Well, the absolute heartbeat of Vrindavan's spiritual life is its temples, and there are literally thousands of them. We're going to dive into just a few of the most significant ones, the ones that really form the backbone of any pilgrimage there. Okay, first up is the Banki Bihari Temple. This place is the absolute heart of the city. Seriously, the energy in there is just electric. It's constantly buzzing with singing and chanting, and it has this really unique tradition. Get this. The curtain in front of the main deity is opened and closed, like every few moments. And you're probably asking, why? Well, it's because the gaze of the deity is believed to be so intensely captivating that if you looked for too long, it would be, well, just overwhelming. But Vrindavan isn't just stuck in the past. It has some absolutely stunning modern expressions of faith, too. So on one hand, you have the ISKCON temple. It has these cool multimedia presentations about Krishna's life. And then there's this spectacular evening prayer ceremony, the Aarti. Then on the other hand, you've got Prem Mandir, the Temple of Love, which at night just becomes this glowing jewel, completely covered in these incredibly intricate marble carvings. It's really something else. And of course, history is it's everywhere you look. You've got temples like Radha Vallabh and Radha Raman, and both of them date all the way back to the 16th century. These places aren't just amazing buildings to look at. They're more like living museums, They're preserving these traditions of worship that have been passed down for literally hundreds of years. But here's the thing about Vrindavan. Faith isn't something that's just locked away inside temple walls. Oh no, it spills right out onto the streets, and it creates this spiritual atmosphere that's just everywhere. So let's step outside those walls for a minute and talk about what it actually feels like to be there. I want you to just imagine this for a second. You're walking through these narrow lanes, and the sound of temple bells isn't just an occasional thing, it's a constant melody in the background. You can hear chanting coming from ashrams, which have become these really important spiritual refuges for widows. You see the sacred Yamuna River, the very place where Krishna is said to have played. And then, as evening falls, the whole city starts to glow with thousands of little oil lamps during the Aarti ceremonies. It's a total sensory immersion into faith. Which really brings us to a fascinating question, right? What does all of that collective faith actually feel like? Well, people who've been there say it creates an atmosphere that just transcends the ordinary. It's this palpable energy. It's a feeling that you've literally stepped into a place where the spiritual world and the material world aren't separate. They're completely woven together. And that connection, that link between the spiritual and the everyday, it's perfectly captured in the local culture. Devotion here isn't just for the temples. It's expressed through absolutely everything, from what people eat to how they celebrate. For instance, the entire city is vegetarian, which really reflects its sacred character. And the food is a huge part of the experience, especially the legendary pedas. These are these milk-based sweets that Lord Krishna himself was said to have absolutely loved. And the local bazaars, they are just as lively, selling everything you can imagine, from prayer beads to traditional clothes, and it's all centered around this life of devotion. And when it comes to festivals, oh man, Vrindavan is on a whole other level. During Holi,
It hosts the world-famous Lutmar Holi. This is where women playfully reenact an ancient legend by chasing men with sticks. It's incredible. And then for Janmashtami, which is Krishna's birthday, the entire city just explodes in this vibrant, joyous celebration. It's a cultural immersion like nothing else.
All right, so if you're feeling inspired and thinking, hey, I might want to experience this firsthand, let's get into some practical info for actually planning a visit. First off, choosing when to go can completely shape your whole experience. If you want pleasant, comfortable weather that's perfect for just exploring the temples, then October to March is your best bet. But if you want that full-on cultural immersion we were just talking about, it's definitely worth braving the crowds for Holi in March or for Janmashtami in late summer. And finally, just a few simple but super important tips for when you're there. 1. Dress modestly. It's all about respecting the sanctity of the temples. 2. Be ready to take your shoes off. A lot. It's a universal custom before entering sacred spaces. 3. Always ask before you snap a photo because the rules can change from temple to temple. 4, and this is the big one, just be mindful and respectful of local traditions. And hey, 5, maybe consider a guide. They can really unlock a much deeper layer of historical and cultural insight. So, at the end of the day, Vrindavan really isn't just a travel destination, is it? It's more like a journey into the very nature of devotion itself. It's a place where faith is literally lived and breathed in every single moment. So whether you're a spiritual seeker or you're just culturally curious, the real question isn't just about what you're going to see there. The real question is, what will you discover?